Jesus is king.
Jesus would hate you because you're a coward.
I did not go to the memorial to align myself with any political views.
Whenever people oversimplify something like that, it's because they know they are doing something wrong or something is wrong.
Another day, another influencer getting brutally canceled for no real reason. We're going to break down the latest TikTok cancellation. This one is truly bizarre, and so much more on today's episode of the Barad vs. Everyone podcast, my daily show where we cover the craziest ideas from across the internet, our media, and our politics, all from an independent perspective. And up first, guys, like I mentioned just a moment ago, we are going to talk about the downfall of a beloved apolitical TikTok star with nearly 1 million followers, Hannah Brown, who had the audacity to commit an egregious hate crime to traumatize millions by quietly, without publicizing it, attending the memorial service for Charlie Kirk, the slain conservative activist and beloved but also controversial figure. Well, Hannah, who was originally got big on TikTok for kind of customer service skits. I'll insert one here so you understand the kind of thing that she's known for.
Hi, what can I get started for you? Everything on this menu is so disgustingly greasy. Do you have anything that's not gonna give me a heart attack? To be honest with you, probably not. Then I guess I'll just do the double Angus burger with extra bacon. Okay. And can I add ranch? Sure, is that it for you? That's it. All right, here's that for you. Okay. Oh my gosh. First time seeing a cheeseburger? There's a bug on my plate. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Where is it? Right there. Where? Hello, are you blind? That black spot right there. Oh, okay, that's just like a burnt crumb from your burger. That is a dead bug. Ma'am, it's not. It's a piece of hamburger. Oh, I can't do this. I'm gonna pass out. I can go grab you a new plate if you'd like, but I can assure you it's not a bug. Whatever, just get this away from me. Okay, here's a new plate. No crumbs. This is the same burger. Oh, yeah, there was nothing wrong with your burger. The crumb didn't even touch it. I'm not gonna eat a meal that had a bug near it. Ma'am, the nearest bug to that hamburger is outside. Okay, well, I'm not eating this. Okay, well, I can get you another one, but just so you know, since you ordered it well done, hence the char, it probably won't be out for about 20 minutes. 20 minutes? So everyone's gonna be done with their food before I even get mine. There are literally no other solutions to this. Fine, I guess I'll just eat the bug burger, but if I get food poisoning, you will be hearing about it. Okay.
Anyway, Hannah doesn't do political content, but somebody spotted her in the background on one of the live streams of Charlie Kirk's memorial, and thus began a brutal cancellation campaign where she lost hundreds of thousands of followers and had hate video after hate video made about her simply for attending this man's memorial service. You know, the guy who was just killed in an egregious act of political terrorism, an un-American attack on free speech. The First Amendment really shouldn't actually require, and doesn't require, any sort of endorsement of everything he ever said or believed to honor his life and to mourn him and to be sad about what it means for our country. Yet apparently on TikTok, it was taken as if, therefore, Hannah endorses the caricature of the extreme views all these people think Charlie had. Now, he had some controversial views, to be sure, but I'm simply saying that they think that his views are much more radical than they actually were. Anyway, guys, let's take a look at Hannah's video addressing this controversy, which has more than 20 million views on TikTok, which is a lot.
All right, this is the only time I'm ever going to address this. First of all, I am not MAGA. I was not at a MAGA rally. I went to a memorial for Charlie Kirk, a man who was brutally assassinated in front of thousands of people, a man who has a wife and children who will never get to see him again, and despite our differing beliefs, a man who did not deserve to die.
I love how everything she just said is like totally uncontroversial to any normal person in America, but is like an insane hot take on TikTok. Totally normal app we've got here that millions of young people use for their main source of news. And the thing is, she says, well, I'm not MAGA. And at multiple points in this video, she distances herself from Charlie Kirk's views. That's fine. But like, why does it matter? Why would it matter if you're MAGA What does that have to do with you? Doesn't mean you're a horrible person, that you share the political views of roughly half the country. And what does it have to do with you doing skits about what it's like to work as a bartender or in a restaurant? Seriously, it has absolutely nothing to do with that. But some of these influencers who've led this hate campaign against her genuinely feel entitled, as if TikTok is their safe space that nobody who doesn't have views to the left of Bernie Sanders can inhabit. That's not how the real world works, people. Come on. But this girl, I mean, she seems sweet, if perhaps naive.
I don't agree with a lot of what Charlie believed. Do I think that means he should be shot and killed? No. And if you disagree with that, we truly have nothing in common. I was so disturbed last Wednesday when I opened TikTok and had to watch the video of him being assassinated, and even more disturbed when I opened the comments and all of them were celebrating and rejoicing his death. I did not go to the memorial to align myself with any political views or to make a political statement. I went to pay my respects to a human that died. And everybody that is attacking me for going to a memorial, really listen to that and think how insane that sounds.
It really is kind of insane. Like, I'm trying to imagine an alternative where I would get mad at somebody for attending a memorial service to somebody who was killed in an act of political terrorism, and I really can't. Even if I thought the person was terrible. Heck, even if it was somebody who I thought was really pernicious, and I would never want this, but say like a Hassan Piker, a left-wing streamer who pretty openly supports extremism and radicalism, if he was killed in some brutal attack to political violence, maybe I would go to the memorial myself, right? Or at least cover it and offer my best, because it's about the principle that that's not who we are as Americans. It's really doesn't even matter if you agree with what they say or not, but there's just no nuance in these critics' perspective.
A man was murdered. Whether or not you agree with his political beliefs is so irrelevant. Because truly, if you are against gun violence, which why would you not be, you cannot celebrate when someone you don't like gets shot. You are a hypocrite. So if you want to unfollow me, completely fine. I would rather have 0 followers than have hundreds of thousands of people that would celebrate the death of a man who just wanted to speak. But just know that there is nothing you can take from me that matters. So yeah, that's really all I have to say about that. Jesus is king, and thank you so much to everyone that is still supporting me and defending me. I love you so much, and I appreciate you. And for the people who are attacking me or unfollowing me, I love you too.
I actually love that. Like, I love this video. It makes me so happy that she didn't apologize, because I'm so sick of these people, even well-intentioned people, caving to the unhinged mobs on the internet. But she was like, no, I don't care. And if you don't want to follow me, bye. And frankly, you know, a lot of people did unfollow her, but a lot of new people followed her as well and will likely support her content in the future. Because again, it is relatable beyond politics. It's not just, it really has nothing to do with politics, most of it. And I love that she cited her faith and said that she loves even the people who are persecuting her. That to me is like one of the most beautiful parts of the Christian tradition. Anyway, though, I want to show you some more of the backlash that she's been getting, because the thing about not apologizing, an apology doesn't really ever help, unfortunately, in these kind of internet pile-on cancel culture situations. However, also doubling down also makes it worse. Really, there's really nothing you can do to make people calm down. They're just going to keep working themselves up over it if they've decided to. But I want to go through a couple of the reaction videos bashing her so you can see just how like deranged this discourse has become. First, though, please do consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Hit the like button, comment, yada, yada, yada. Remember, you can send in voicemails for our Voicemail Friday episodes, where I react to your woke horror stories, give you advice on your personal lives, and answer any questions you guys have for me. The link to send in one of those is in the description. And if you're listening on audio podcasts, take a second to rate and review the show wherever you're listening, or maybe share it with a friend who might find it interesting. Now, guys, let's look at a couple of these videos, including one from a pretty prominent TikTok star who told Hannah that Jesus would hate her. Yes, seriously, listen to this.
Jesus would hate you because you're a coward. One would only feel compelled to go to his memorial if they found quite a bit of alignment between him and themselves. And I wish people like you would just say that. I hate a coward. Just say you like Charlie Kirk and what he stood for. Say you don't care about his comments about black women, his party's loyalty to weaponry, his anti-feminist rhetoric, etc. Stand on it. Say it and stand on it. Instead of getting on camera and dancing around reality, insulting people's intelligence as if they can't tell. Listen, say whatever you want about Charlie Kirk. I've many an opinion, but he wasn't a coward. You are. And that's almost as embarrassing as all of the trash you filthy people left all over Arizona the other day. Repulsive.
Well, she seems wonderful. Jesus would hate you because you went to a memorial for somebody who was murdered and then didn't apologize when people got mad at you, but did clarify your beliefs. Now, here's the thing. If Denisha is correct and Hannah really does have actually just her views are MAGA, she is just completely in agreement with Charlie Kirk, then it would be a tad cowardly to say, well, I didn't agree with him. I just wanted to show my respects. But we really have no idea if that's true. It could be, but there's no proof of that. Lots of people, including people like myself, who have tons of disagreements with Charlie Kirk, and I criticize him many times, nonetheless have honored his legacy and mourned his tragic assassination, because you can hold two thoughts in your head at the same time, or at least some of us can, that you can honor the good parts of somebody and not necessarily all, and also you can condemn what happened to them and what it means for our country, again, without endorsing everything they've ever said. So I totally disagree with this idea that Jesus would hate you, and I don't think we know that she's a coward. I think it's just, why are you attacking her? Like, let her be. She did absolutely nothing wrong. She wants to go back to creating her normal content, and you're just joining a pile-on because, I don't know, you're maybe just full of resentment or bitterness. And some of these things like, oh, Charlie Kirk's party stands behind weaponry. Oh, so that makes people evil now if they support the Second Amendment? Like, that's the level. His anti-feminist rhetoric. Yeah, correct. People have widespread disagreement on complicated social and political issues. Yeah, that's the point. But you're just castigating anybody who disagrees with you on this whole host of things as, well, they must be bad, and just admit you like the bad people or you're a coward. I don't know. I found that uniquely toxic from a huge account, the Denisha Carter TikTok creator. She's quite big on there. Now, another thing that I found very interesting was another big creator attacked Hannah by arguing that not only is her choice to go to the memorial political, but her regular restaurant skits are too. Listen to this.
Just like you think attending the memorial service of someone who is a highly, highly polarizing political person during a very volatile political time isn't political, you're absolutely wrong. And just like I believe you attending that memorial service is political, I also believe your content is very political. Now, you might disagree. You'll say, no, it's not. I do skits about restaurants and being a hostess. Yes, I know. Whether you know it or not, your content is highly political. Like in your videos about Karen v. waitress, topics like power imbalance, social structure, entitlement, these things all come up, which are all inherently political things. Like,
don't these people ever get tired? It is so exhausting trying to keep with them. Restaurant skits are political now because power imbalances exist in the world. Girl, what you just said, but the logic, if we're calling it logic, the logic is not in the room with us, but the logic of this argument, everything is political. Dog content is political then, because who can afford to have certain breeds of dogs? That ties to socioeconomic status. Who has access to walkable neighborhoods? Literally, under this demented worldview, we are incapable of setting any conversation aside from politics or enjoying any hobby or activity or niche without making it about ideologies and political parties and divisive tension. So you just want to destroy any common sense of society? Like, you just want to constantly have each other at each other's throats and politicize everything? Because that's what you're doing here. To say nothing of the fact that the original point is, again, wrong. Attending someone's memorial does not mean you endorse their worldview. I just totally disagree. And you see that, in fact, I mean, when major political figures pass away, often many figures from the opposite party will attend their memorial service. It does not mean they're suddenly changing parties and coming out against and endorsing all their opponents' previous positions. That's not how this works. And y'all sound the worst possible combination of terminally online, completely deranged, and exhausting. Seriously, exhausting. Now, speaking of exhausting, oh my gosh, this next woman tried to make this whole situation about Palestine, I guess. I don't know. Watch.
This video is for Hannah Brown, so if you're not Hannah Brown, you could keep scrolling, or you could watch if you want. Hannah, I just wanted to say you're so brave for speaking your truth and, you know, really, like, making sure people know that you care about human life. That's why you went to the memorial for, you know, the white supremacist, is because you care about the life of a human being and you wanted to pay your respects to the loss of life. Like, I think you're so brave and strong for doing so, and you inspired me. You did. And so, like, I just wanted to ask, like, from your perspective, like, what are you gonna do to pay respect to the almost 700,000 Palestinians killed by Israel in Palestine since October 7th, 2023? Because I don't think you've posted about that. And so I'm wondering, like, where your head's at on that, because you said in your video, like, all loss of life is sad, like, it's the loss of a human life. Like, I was paying my respects because he was a husband and a father. I think that, like, you know, almost 700,000 Palestinians killed in Gaza were also husbands and fathers, and you haven't posted anything about that. And you also haven't, you know, used your platform that used to be close to 1 million, but is now, like, almost, like, you know, 800,000 since yesterday. Yikes. You haven't used your platform at all to, I don't know, raise money for a family, or like pay respects in some other way, like, you know, try to raise money for a GoFundMe covering funeral costs, or like the cost of like getting somebody's body transported back to their family, something like that. Like, you haven't done that. And so I'm wondering, do you actually care about the loss of human life? That's what I'm wondering. Because in your video, you said you did. So I'm just, like, confused on what I should do. Because, like, I want to walk like Jesus. I want to talk like Jesus. But, like, does Jesus only care when white people die?
I'm nauseous now. I literally feel the turkey and cheese that I had for lunch 20 minutes ago. It's coming up again. Should have known it as soon as I seen the amount of piercings in this individual. I was about to lose my lunch. There's so much here I hardly know where to start. First off, why do you gotta attack someone's faith like this and mock Jesus and this whole like fake nice where you're like trolling this whole, it's just sickly sweet genre of content I hate. It's so passive aggressive and grotesque. Also, I'm not even trying to get into the specifics of the conflict here, but like basic facts do matter. She's off about 10x. Even according to the Hamas-run Ministry of Health, about 66,000 Palestinians have been killed in Gaza. So round that up to 70,000 even, and you are overestimating by 10x in your video. A little bit of an error there. Maybe we shouldn't be taking our geopolitical analysis from you. Not to say that that number is okay or that those lives don't, and no, of course not, nothing like that. But if you're going to get up here and fix your mouth to like scream at somebody for not taking political stances, maybe you shouldn't make massive factual errors. Personally, I actually think it's fine that restaurant skit-based influencers do not use their platform to talk about Palestine. But like literally, by this logic, you can't ever talk about anything or be sad about anything if you're not upset about everything. This is just not compatible with the reality that we live in today, where we have this access to never-ending news feeds and updates and social media accounts where there's always a new terrible story happening somewhere. It is not possible for people to focus on all of it, and you are not going to make us feel bad about it. I'm not buying that. I'm not here for it. Like, we don't. Also, that doesn't even make sense here, because you're yelling at this woman for attending a Charlie Kirk memorial. She didn't post about it. She didn't use her platform to fundraise about it. She went in her own capacity, and then someone like stalked her on a live stream, and you're attacking her over it. If she posted fundraising for Charlie Kirk's family, personally, I think that'd be fine. And I think it would be very silly to say, why aren't you fundraising for Gaza instead? Like, but okay, maybe then we would at least be in the universe of some type of a point. But here you're not. Like, because first off, you have no idea. For all you know, she has donated to help innocent people caught up in the war in Gaza. Like, you actually don't know that. You're just making a bunch of assumptions. But again, here's the thing. I really do have compassion for innocent people on both sides of this conflict who have been harmed but there is something about the woke white leftist women, particularly on TikTok, who advocate for Palestine, who, like, if they actually wanted to help, they would just shut up forever, because there's so, like, the rhetoric and approach they use is so toxic that it just repulses people, I think. Now, of course, you shouldn't let, like, TikTok crazy people shape how your opinion on this conflict, but they're not helping. They're just virtue signaling to their friends. If anything, at the margins, at the cost of support for their cause, because this is radioactive to normal people. This kind of scolding from the nose ring community. Sorry, I absolutely can't stand it. And I find this whole saga just mad, like, in the actual sense of the word. She did nothing wrong. She's been made the villain of the internet of this week, or the past couple weeks, and for no real reason at all. Like, it's actually bleak. It says something bleak about society and about Gen Z when we are at the point where people are getting attacked and facing cancellation attempts for mourning the victim of an assassination. What is even going on? How is that a thing? Like, it's so bizarre. But you know what? Maybe this is a sign that the tide is turning, because she didn't apologize. She stood on business. Her following has largely recovered, and she's getting a groundswell of support for new people. So maybe this is the way that we finally push back on and end this psycho cancel culture madness. I don't know. But you know what? I'd never heard of her before this, but she gained a new follower from me, and I'll be supporting her content in the future. You guys let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure subscribed if you aren't yet. Hit the like button. And that'll be it for today's episode of the Brad vs. Everyone podcast. Thank you, everybody, so much for tuning in. Do remember to rate and review on podcast platforms if you haven't yet. Send in your voice notes, yada, yada, yada. And we will talk again real soon.